Do you play War Thunder and are you struggling with the economy? You can now get free Golden Eagles by downloading the app down below and completing simple tasks. If you use my referral code EPGEK, you get 10 Golden Eagles upon signing in. And if all of you accumulate enough Golden Eagles throughout that link, I will be able to host 5,000 Golden Eagle giveaways with the Golden Eagles that you guys have earned. Welcome back, and we are going to be reviewing some games again today, and I'm severely behind, so expect a few more of these in the near future, especially in the first 2 months of 2024, because the content is gonna be pretty dry and this is a good way to kind of fill in the blanks. Before we get started today, and if you skipped the intro, which I can't really fault you for because we even watch its ads anymore, but we are sponsored by the free GE app, and I'm gonna be giving away 3 times 4,000 Golden Eagles, and I'm sorry I didn't make it in time for the sales. There were some issues with the app. We tried to do it last week. All you need to do to enter is just subscribe and comment, and we'll pick out a random one. Once you are announced the winner, you get 48 hours to redeem your prize, so basically until the next video. And if you haven't by that time, I will announce a new one and the 48-hour clock restarts again. But with giveaways, most of the time, people are kind of on top of it. So stay tuned. The only requirement when you do win is that you do need to download the app, but I'll explain everything on how to redeem everything once you've actually won. All right. For context, I think we are in a EPGEK tree VK107. I'm not entirely sure, but looking from this angle, I do think it is one. We have an I-225 in front of us. We have an empty contrail on the top right here. I'm not sure if it's a bomber or if it's one of the TU2s or whatever that dove a little bit and got low enough to the point where it doesn't create a contrail anymore, or if it's an enemy airspawn fighter or whatever. So I don't know what it is. We'll see in the future. And then we have the P51. I think it's going to be H. Looking at the matchmaker here, Alvarado is 6.3, so I don't underless the squatted, but it's probably going to be a H. So let's see how we are going to be dealing with this. Now, I would personally start with the I-225, because the P51H isn't really that much of a threat, but you can go for him, take him out, and then transition over to the I-225, because the I-225 doesn't have the best chance of really killing you anyway, because it just doesn't, it compresses too much. Now you're going to dogfight the P51H, which is fine, but you don't want to go vertical like this. You are now just stalling yourself out for that I-225 to come in, making you a very easy target. Now looking at the length of the clip, he probably misses you because he compresses. But if I was watching this live, I would say you were dead right here. You probably just got severely lucky. So we are going to dive on the P51H, try to shoot him down. The fight itself is okay. You even looked at him, you're not even... Okay. You literally look at him as you look behind you. But whatever. We are going to go for the P51H. We dodge the I-225 the second he starts shooting, which is okay, I guess. Now, we can reverse this guy, but we need to be aware of the fact that that P51H, you made him mad, and he is going to come back in, I think, about 5, maybe 7 to 8, 10 seconds. We get on him, we are maintaining point 2, and there he is. The P51H is now on R6. Now, we do not want to start... Please don't. Yeah. Right now, you are diving into the entire enemy team to get a singular kill. You are better off defending against the P51H. He's a much bigger threat, and you are not going to be killing this guy in the next 2 or 3 seconds. Defend. This guy is probably going to dive out anyway at this point. He's probably not going to try to turn around, and if he does, the I-225 is relatively easy to handle in the EPGEK tree, so you're better off defending against the P51H. Secondly, you're now just diving into the entire enemy team. What was a 2v1 is now potentially going to turn into a 1v6 if the rest of their team just starts to decide, well, I want this EPGEK tree to be dead. How you are defending the P51H in itself is okay, but there is the first one. Another P51 comes in, assume also it's going to be an H, but we will be able to kill the P51H right here if your aim and the cannons allow you to do so. Now, a little bit of poor shot placement. You do get a shot in. The I-225 luckily flies through the stratosphere on the other side of the map, so he's not really going to be an issue. But you are making yourself super slow again for the second guy to come in. Now maybe you'll get away with it because he's not really pitching up for you. He's not really pressuring you, and he starts doing it a little bit too late. He also seems to be lightly damaged, which might be helping you out. Some more poor shots, which is unfortunate. You might have been able to kill him there very easily actually. And if you had killed the other one as well, it would be a 1v1 versus the 225, and you might have actually been able to claw this back a little bit. But this is not mainly about your aim, because with your aim in this scenario, you're also relying on them just making a lot of mistakes. You've already made 3 major ones, which all should have killed you. Now you're trying to run away from the P51Hs, which is not really going to work out either, because you can see on the map here on the bottom right, their team is getting spotted again. So it's probably going to turn into like a 1v6, and yeah, there they are. And now you can't really do anything anymore. Now the first P51H that you hit is pretty damaged, I think. He's not really pressuring you. He's kind of just flying around, so I hope that he crashes soon. I-225 comes in, now he is going to compress, and you do need to turn, which you do, which is great. Then you turn into the P51, he's still hitting you, but at this point you're dead anyway. You might as well just go all in for a shot. Do you hit this? Do you hit those? Nice shot, get a double kill, but then you get slapped out of the air by the 225 that should have killed you 3 minutes ago. Now, what was the second kill? Because you did get a double kill. Is that the other P51H that just crashed? I think so. Yeah, that's him. What's the other one then? Insanely tired. Is that the guy you just reversed, right? Yeah. Then who else died? I'm sorry. I need to see for sure. Ah. Yeah, it's the other P51H. Well, fantastic. You got 2 kills out of it, which is okay. But if you had just gone for the 225 here, and you saw how easy it was to defend against him, all you needed to do was make sure that you hold your altitude over this P51H. So overall, I don't see any... When it comes to the smaller fights, I don't see any glaring mistakes. The main mistakes here is focusing on the right target and knowing that you are not alone on the map. You need to have a little bit more game sense, but when it comes to like the individual fights, it's okay. But you need to make sure that you are looking around and that you pay attention to where your other enemies are going. Because at the end of the day, we are not 1v1ing in a custom battle. We are flying in a 16v16 or perhaps 12v12 back when this video came out. And then we have Mr. Austin in his G2. And now this is the... I'm not sure if it's a skin... Yeah, this is the Italian one. It's slightly better than the regular... Or slightly better than the drop version in the German tech tree. It's ever so slightly. It is better. But it's not something like it's gonna just absolutely slam the ever-living shit out of everyone in the lobby. You still need to fly it like a 109. But it's closer to like a G6, I guess, at 4.3, which is great. Now... First thing here, I think this is good. You don't want to engage this blob. You have 4 XP50s and an F6C. All of these planes are going to have quite the impact on your performance. And they are going to be annoying to deal with. Now, you don't want to fly into this straight on. I'd maybe even fly over a little bit more to the side, stay unspotted, and try to loop in behind them as they start diving. And then you can perhaps just pick them all off. But you're doing that. So there's nothing wrong here. I'm just nitpicking. When I see nothing wrong, there is still always something to bitch about. So you turn in, and they are somewhat engaging. So I do think this is a good moment to start doing it. Because if you wait too long, they kill the Pyromursky, and after that guy dies, guess what? They are all going to be looking around again. They are regaining their energy again. And you don't want to wait too long, essentially. Now, one of the XP50s is just continuing on, because he knows that there's no use in chasing a guy that already has 4 guys on him. So we have to go for Mr. Cheeto 4888 now, because he is going to be the highest one with the highest energy state. Now yes, these other guys are directly below us, and they are very enticing to dive on because there is a massive blob, but you want to secure the lone guys first, and that's what you are doing. I love to see it. Always great when you see common sense in the videos. XP50 is now singled out, he is the highest. Keep looking around in case one of the XP50s starts reclimbing or something. But it's annoying to see with the replay. So we are just going to engage the XP50 that's directly below us. Now he's also going to dive out. You do rip later than him. But you do want to be careful here because the XP50 is still pretty damn maneuverable. You don't want to overcommit here. You just want to slowly drain his balls and make sure that he goes back to the hangar. Now we do exactly that. You don't commit to the first shot. You let the XP50 bleed a little bit of speed. The XP50 doesn't actually dive out anymore. And you get some hits in. Some poor aim, but you're compressing. I get it. The XP50 is locked into this fight now, however. And you don't instantly go vertical, which is also the right course of action. You want to be careful when you overshoot someone with a lot more speed. You can simply fly away vertically for a little bit, or horizontally. And then go vertical after you have a little bit of separation. And that way you won't just stall out in his guns. So essentially, up until now, other than his aim. And this is how you want to fly it. And this XP50 looks to be severely dead. Now we might be compressing again here. Because it's hard to pull into that kind of shot. And it is. pull it away that he isn't turning to get the most amount of separation before he starts getting guns on. So far, everything looks good. And the fact that this game is 8 minutes long, about 17 actually, because you're probably going to speed up as well when I look at the top. You didn't die instantly, which is always a good thing. But we have to look at why that might be the case. Now we are going to sit above this guy. We don't want to dive after him. But at this point, I think you can be a little bit more aggressive. The other 3 XP50s over there, or the other 3 enemies over there, are not really a threat right now. But yeah, actually in retrospect, I agree with your choice here. But this is going to be a rough one. We have an XP50 that's been hit by like 1.7 mil. He's now pitching in. Good job paying attention. But you wanted to kill that XP50. You're now diving past that XP50 and allowing him to get position on you. Because right here, he pitches up for you and he's basically giving you a free shot. If you loop on over here, you can kill this guy relatively easily, or at least try to, because it's much more likely that you kill this guy opposed to those 3 guys over there. I understand that you're trying to keep your teammate alive, but he's already dead. This is not gonna happen. So you might as well try to finish the guy off that's directly below you, that's going slow. And that guy behind you is now gaining a lot of position. Now if you do kill 2 or 3 here, then we will, you know, like forgive you. But I don't think you're even leading enough. Oh, you are, just replay antics. Got 1 crit, got a 2nd crit, and now we need to leave. Now that XP50 behind us, Mr. Cheeto, that we engaged at the start, is getting awfully close, and we need to go defensive against the P51, or the F6C in this case. And now guess what happens? This guy is going to lock you in. He's kind of catching you off guard. Well, you know that he was coming, but you now need to dogfight 3 guys at the same time that are all basically better than you. Now, one of them crashes, which is good. Now where's the 3rd guy? Where is the 3rd guy? I want you to look around more. Well, maybe you saw him, but I didn't. Now, you have the energy a little bit here, but this is risky, man. Like, this is... Oh, there he is. That's the 3rd one. And you're just about to get hosed down by everyone. I mean, the fight itself is okay. Like, the damage control is okay. But this is a fight that the XP50 will win if he's paying attention. Now, whatever you do, do not go for the guy that's directly below you. Focus on the XP50 that's behind you. Now, it looks like you are doing that, which is good. Maybe a little bit less flaps to get a little bit more horizontal separation. Once you get the energy, you can simply pull straight up, but you need to be careful because the XP50 will keep up in this quite handily. And the longer you keep this up, and the less climbing that you do in this kind of maneuver, the closer the other XP50 is going to come to you. He's about to interrupt your fight probably by simply pitching straight into you. XP50 is kind of breaking up the rate here. Now you might want to go straight vertical right here. But the other XP50 isn't able to pull in here. You need to look around more, man. Like, this could have easily killed you. Now I understand the decision now, because he is high enough and it doesn't sacrifice too much position. So we should be able to just shoot him down. That's great. That's number 1. But now you have him directly on your 6. And you have the F6C also right there, who is slightly damaged. And you need to be careful of him. You need to be able to pull up over his nose. Now you do exactly that, but you need to look at the XP50 more. The XP50 is your main threat here. And you need to be very careful that he doesn't just pitch up straight into you and slam you out of the air. Kind of lucky you managed to pull into that one. He took a very bad line, otherwise you would have died. But at this point, you're looking pretty good. The F6C is crit. The XP50 is crit. Just make sure that you don't stall yourself out in front of someone. Because right now you can simply go vertical. Just keep turning into the other direction. And you will be good. Now I think you just got hit by AA. Which is rather unfortunate. Overall, I mean, some mistakes, sure. But 1v4s are also very much dynamic based. You need to kind of think on the spot. So I can't really fault you for it. But I wouldn't dive out here. You need to keep... Unless that F6C is severely slower than you, but he isn't. This is the recipe for disaster. You know, I have 2 guys that were basically crit. And you threw away your entire energy advantage. You are now with 2 guys on your ass. One of them outturns you. And the other is crippled as well, but I'm not sure how damaged he is. I'm looking pretty rough. Pull into his guns again. And you're going to stall yourself out for the 2nd guy. I don't know. Yeah. You need to commit a bit more to whatever you're doing. But overall, looking pretty okay. You're probably gonna die to the XP50, aren't you? Oh, 700 miles. Or like yards. What is it? No, not yards. 0.7 miles. I always forget that like the Imperial system doesn't transfer over properly. What is like... whatever, I'm not gonna go into that. Now he does overshoot, which is great and all, but you're severely damaged, your engine is burning up. XP50 is coming in, second guy's on your ass, like it's just very rough. Overall, after this shot, right here, you dodge him, which is fine, right? Now, he just has some bad aim, it's hard to hit or whatever the hell it is. But this right here, if he started turning a little bit earlier, he would have already been pointing at you. And then you just die. Now, I would take this as well, because he's not going to be able to pull into it. You crit him, which is great. And now you need to make sure that you just stall them both out. And going vertical here is risky. But once you got past this nose right here, you could have very easily just kept pulling up. You don't need to go for the XP50. You do it now, but you delayed a little bit. Now you get hit by AA, and you probably start panicking. You can just keep going up. Your engine will not explode instantly. This guy is missing an engine probably, because you were hitting directly into it. And you had position, or you had energy on the F6C. And then what do? You dive underneath him. So it's essentially the same thing as with the Yak 3 clip. I love how I keep accidentally doing this, because I just clicked in succession the first 4 to 3 links. And again, they add to each other. And this is why it's bad. Once you have position and you dive away from someone, what ends up happening is he's going to reset, he's going to get all the speed back, and now you need to do it all over again. So you got past the most risky part, and now this guy is simply going to ride your ass. So you need to make sure that you don't overcommit. You probably panicked a little bit because of this, but you have like a 1 or 2 minute window before you really start dying. So you didn't need to really go for the XP50 here. I understand AA is an absolute bitch and it has no place in the game. Luckily, this doesn't really happen anymore. But it's the same deal as with Cheeto earlier, as well as with the previous guy. I already forgot his name. Don't dive past people that you have basically stalled out. Now, I did mock you for some things here with like, don't go for, where was it? So like here. Like, go for Cheeto and then go for the pack. And I still think that's good. Like, it worked out decently, but you need to be aware of the fact that you got pretty lucky in this fight a few times. And it would have been severely or infinitely more safe if you had killed this guy first and then floated over to the pack. And then you would have ended with a 1v1 at the end. Now, sure, maybe you wouldn't have been able to crit 2 people in one pass there, but it would be 1 less. So even if you only crit 1, you're still better off. So if you only crit 1 after killing this guy, you're still better off opposed to flying in and critting 2. Now, if everyone is stalled out, like say the J21 is actually like a kilometer above them, they're all like prop hanging, spraying at like 2 kilometers, and they're all like 100% secure kills, sure, you can risk it. But for right now, when everyone is still like flying around and they all have some speed, and you're not saving this guy anyway, you're better off just cutting your losses for now, killing this guy, get the numbers down, and then this fight isn't nearly as challenging. Overall, pretty decent flying. I mean, I can't really fault it. Just some questionable decisions. Alright, then we have an FGR, I think it is. We have AIM-9Ds. We have the F4E. Now, how are we going to be winning this? Now, we do have the position here. We should be able to just kind of pull outside. Your pre-flaring, he doesn't have a nearest shot yet. But I guess you have enough flares that it doesn't really matter. He's going to pull in here. You want to go a little bit more vertical, get a bit more separation, and make sure that he doesn't get within gun range. Now, you get outside of his envelope or whatever you want to call it, and you just keep pulling, which is good. This is what you want to do. But you want to be careful that you don't go too horizontal or too vertical, because then he just starts cutting inside of you. Now, luckily, you have the position here to just kind of keep this up all day long. And you are going to slowly but surely drain his balls and make sure that you get behind him. Now, he's basically level with you. The top of his loop is basically the bottom of your loop. And then you start... Where's your fucking gun? What is this? Oh my fucking god. Don't tell me you win this. Alright. If you do... I have no words for it. We have Karen the manager. He's probably going to refund his trip back to the hangar. He's going to start yelling at someone with a bob cut. Now we get behind him and you start throttle dropping. Now understand why you would try to do this. You want to secure your position, but keep in mind you only have aim 9Ds. Yeah, probably you need a little bit of separation to shoot him down, but you also need to make sure that you're not too far away. So this is going to be rough fun. If this is at the end of the game, he might be low on fuel, depending on like how agile he is. He's very agile right now. Now he's pulling in. You're pulling into his gun right here. Also Booba right and left wing. But if you don't dodge him, you die. He's above you. Yeah, there he is. Look at his trajectory. You're flying directly into his gun. You should have been dead right here. Now luckily for you, he simply shoots too late. Now he might be low on ammo, he might be low on fuel, might be low on whatever. I don't know, but he's trying to be too conservative. If he had held his trigger down a little bit longer, you would have died. He just shot too late. Now we are gonna go back into it. Kinda sus, but I think you'll be okay because you don't have the gun port. If you have the gun port here, you just die to this. Because you don't have the energy. You're too heavy, you have too much drag. But you're now just gonna be able to pull outside of his gun. And you are gonna just kinda raid fight him. More Booba, this time close up. I wouldn't try to throttle drop. You're never gonna pull into this. The F4E is slower than you, first of all. He turns better than you. And you can't kill him at close range anyway. So this is not really going to get you anything. Now you notice that you're not getting it and you pull out. So that's great. You're not going to be a father. It's not going to be a boy. Incredible. We go straight back into the vertical. But we don't want to turn straight up and not to the right side of our screen at all. Because we are just giving him position. Now he might be able to pull in. But I don't think he's going to have quite the energy to do it. He's 0.8 away or 0.48. Does he have missiles? You might have to cut your afterburner. Ooh, that almost tracked. But you still have him by the balls, which is good. And again, you're gonna don't try to slow. It's not gonna work, man. Especially when you don't have a gun. Getting behind someone at this close of a range with a missile that is not that powerful at this kind of range is not gonna do you much good. You're not using SRAMs. You're not getting that shot. He notices it. He dodges it. He is air braking too now. He air brakes a little bit too hard. Now he does get on your 6. Don't pull into the direction that he's pulling. You're just giving this guy free position. Keep flying into the other direction. Just keep pulling. Don't reverse your turn. Because now this guy gets a lot of position on you. He's going to be too slow. But it's going to be risky. He's probably going to be at like 0.9-ish. Probably closer. Hopefully it's going to be 0.9. The clip is too long, but I have a feeling you're going to die to this. This right here, when you are going this slow in a Phantom, is prime time slam hours. Like, this is very sketchy. He could have just gunned you down right here. I'm not sure if he will. We'll see in a second. Put. There it is. Ooh. Now, that's rough. Like, you could have died there as well. If you had just turned this the other way, like when you overshoot, directly here, you started pulling into this direction, the side of where your radar is. Just keep pulling. Don't roll into him. You're giving this guy too much room. Now he's gonna pull in. Oh shit! It's very sketch. But he stopped shooting, so I have a feeling that he's out of ammo. How much kills does this guy have? Do you show the leaderboard anywhere? I'm sorry, I just need to know. I like it when I... Ah! I see! 7 kills and an assist. So this guy probably has like no missile. Well, he also shot a missile at you. So he only used... Well, IR missiles. He might have used radars as well. But he has 8 kills essentially. Or he crit 8 people. So he's probably low on ammo. If he could spray you there, you would be dead. Now we go down again. Again, just giving this guy position. You need to continuously keep pulling up and go horizontal. Make sure that you get out of his nose and energy trap. And now he breaks off. This guy's out of everything probably. He doesn't want to fight this. If you have this many kills and you are on the last 1v1 and the guy runs from you, it's over. He has nothing left. Shoot the first missile. Drops the flares. Doesn't track. Still have 2 left. Now if you're lucky, he's actually gonna be very low on flares because he has been in the game. Getting behind him here again just doesn't work out. Simply for the fact that, well, you guessed it, you can't missile him at close range anyway. And he doesn't even want to take the fight anymore, so I think you're just gonna missile him down, aren't you? Is he out of flares? I think he's out of flares. Oh, he tried to flare at last second. You're better off trying to flare at long range. This doesn't really work. Like especially, it doesn't matter what missile. With the ILCCM missiles, even more of a thing. But you're better off flaring at long range, opposed to waiting until last second and then flaring. Because right now the missile is just gonna track. And then if you flare it that close, if the missile doesn't instantly get fooled, you're dead. I didn't bring a cannon. Oh my fuck. Oh, there's more booba on the top of the wings as well. Man. Okay, it was an absolute clown show. Overall, pretty decently flown. Just be careful that you don't try to pull into shots that you're never going to hit anyway. And that's all I have for you today. Feel free to sign up for the giveaway thing in the description. And you will see me all probably when the patch goes live. Not sure when. But we'll see. Maybe Friday, actually. Maybe I'll upload another one on Friday, but I've been kind of tired. So we'll see. I'm trying to conserve my mental for when the patch actually does drop. Because I'll have to play absolute shitload in about 3 days' time. Thank you all for watching. You'll see me in the next one.